Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Jake. Thanks for tuning in here today. In this video, we're going to take a look at Eastern Hemlock. Scientific name, Tsuga canadensis in the Pinaceae family, which is the pine family. So, we'll flip the camera around, we'll take a look at some things. Stick with me. Take a look at the needles here, very dark green in color. I'll take this one. And look at this. The needles sit almost completely flush with the twig. That is important when differentiating this from other species that may look similar. And if you look on top of this one here, I can hold it still. Right there at the end of my thumb, there is a very, very small needle that's turned upside down. There's another one right here at the end. That is a common thing with Eastern Hemlock. You may see on the ends of the twigs are those upside down needles that kind of look like the stripes on a road for a passing zone. That's a common thing. And if you look at this from the end, you can see it's very, very flat. All the needles come out from one side or the other, kind of splay out there. Look at the underside here. Hold that. All the needles have a pair of white lines that run the entire length of the needle, and that's what you're seeing on the top of the twig there. Was the underside of the needles, because those on the top grow upside down. And here we have some mature bark for the Eastern Hemlock. Look at that. Let's come in a little bit closer here. Look at this. There we go. If you look here, to me it kind of looks like strips of bark that are stacked on top of each other. So if you look here, there's a strip that comes down, and this strip ends here. And there's another strip here that goes up underneath this one. So it kind of looks like stacked layers of strips of bark to me. Very rich brown color. And this is pretty typical. Sometimes it may be a bit more gray, but that brown is pretty common in my opinion. If we look at this from a bit further back, you can see there are a lot of dead branches at the bottom of the trunk here. There is one that's alive right here, but a lot of these are dead, and that is a very common thing for Eastern Hemlock. And there are a number of them growing along this trail here. There is one here, here, here. There's one back here. There's another one you can't really see back in this area, but all of these, if you notice, there are dead branches on the bottom section of each of those trunks. And there's another one right here. You see those dead branches go all the way up to about here. So it's quite a bit of distance there from the ground before you get to the live branches on a lot of these Eastern Hemlocks. But that is a common thing that can be a help in identifying them, especially from a distance. So that is Eastern Hemlock, Tsuga canadensis. This is a species that very much likes to grow near water. We'll grow lots of different places. I've seen it plenty of times up on dry ridge tops, but down around water is really an ideal spot for Eastern Hemlock. And it's kind of a common thing among a lot of species I'm going to talk about here. They do have preferred sites, but they'll grow in lots of different places. So that's just a thing. There is a very important thing that comes along with them growing near water though, and that is stream water temperature regulation. This is one of the main species that assists with that in this region. There are other terrestrial species such as Rose Bay rhododendron that assist with that, but Eastern Hemlock is one of the main terrestrial species that helps to regulate stream water temperatures, which is very important for various aquatic species. One of the most talked about ones is rainbow trout. As stream water temperatures rise, their range becomes more limited. They have to go higher into the mountains, which is unfortunate. And there is something that goes along with Eastern Hemlock regulating stream water temperatures, and that is an insect that attacks the hemlock population, and that is the hemlock woolly adelgid. I was not able to find that on any of the trees around me right now, which is awesome. But I am not far from town on a hiking trail that comes out from a very popular picnic area here in the Smokies. So these are probably treated individuals, which is great. But if you find a hemlock with small cotton ball looking things near the base of the needles on the underside of the branch, that is going to be the Hemlock woolly adelgid. And I bring that up in relation to stream water temperature regulation because as the hemlock population declines, which it is doing to some degree, unfortunately, I don't think it's a huge issue that needs to be worried about right now, yet. But as the population declines, stream water temperatures do raise a little bit, and that does limit the range for certain aquatic species. Even just 1/10 of a degree can make a difference. So that is an unfortunate occurrence with a decline in population due to the Hemlock woolly adelgid. But if you're looking at a tree and you do see those little cotton balls on the undersides of the twigs and you're concerned about that, you could probably call someone and have them come take a look at it and see if it's something that can be treated. There are various methods to treat for the insect. If you're here in Tennessee, you might call the Tennessee Division of Forestry. Tell them what you're looking at. They might come out and take a look at it. Almost every state will have someone you can call. There'll be somebody that works in forestry. You would have to look that up. I don't know every state, but here in Tennessee, it's the Tennessee Division of Forestry, TDF. So, but yeah, that is Eastern Hemlock. I think that's everything I wanted to say about it for the moment. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in a comment down below. Until next time, go forth, enjoy yourself, and always come home safe.